Let me just start off by saying this is a bit of a clickbait title. I am enjoying Elden Ring. I think it's a good game. But so far, and I'm about 46 hours into the game, I'll go into more detail later on. So far, Dark Souls 3 was better. Bloodborne, Sekiro were better. See, Elden Ring is the most recent game, the one that they spent the most amount of time working on it. They had, the guy from Game of Thrones or Song of Ice and Fire, whatever it's called, working on it. For it to be worse, in my opinion, maybe not. I shouldn't say worse. Not as good as Dark Souls 3, which came out in like 2016. That just doesn't feel good. Um, Maybe the game was just overhyped before I played it or something. Maybe I just had my expectations were too high. But it really does not feel like an improvement over the previous games. So what are my issues with it? First of all, a lot of the characters are so forgettable, and the character quests are extremely short. So I guess I should say, spoilers in case you haven't played Elden Ring but you're watching this for some reason. And please don't spoil anything in the comments. I'm forgetting names. D. His whole character quest was like 2 steps. Right? I talked to him. He told me about those who live in death, blah blah blah, all of that. He said that he's planning to retire, and then that was it for like 20 hours or something, for a very long time. And then eventually I talked to Fia at some point, and Fia was like, "Yeah, there's this dagger, and you return it to its owner." So I go around talking to people. I talked to D, and it's like, "Oh, you can give him the dagger." I'm like, "Okay." I gave him the dagger. I leave. I come back, and there's a new room open. I go inside, and D stabbed himself or something. I don't really know what happened. D is dead, and Fia is beside him. And Fia talks to me, and she's like, "Yeah, the dagger's in its rightful place, and I have no reason to exist anymore," or something like that. And oh, and she gives some message about the Lord of Death. I'm not too confident in the story, because I'm trying as much as possible to understand the story myself without watching videos and stuff like that. So I'm gonna miss some details, but this is my understanding. And that's it. Fia's gone, D's gone. Okay, why these characters? I literally had talked to them 3 times. Rogier, he told me about the Black Knife stuff. So I found the catacombs. I got the Black Knight print. Or sorry, it was Fia who told me about that. And then I gave it to Rogier, and he's like, "Oh, go talk to Ronnie." And then I went through the Carian Manor, which was actually a pretty cool place. I did enjoy it. And I found Ronnie, and so far I like Ronnie as well. And she's like, "Yeah, I'm not gonna tell you where the thing is. Why would I tell you?" And then Roger's like, "Oh, then join her service." Blah, blah, blah. So I join her service, and I go back to Roger, and he's like, "Oh, I'm actually dying," and then he dies. Okay, so that's it. Why did I even join Ronnie's service then? Roger's just gonna die anyway. What's the point? It was so random. What? Right? So it feels so awkward. All these characters is just die, or their quests are seemingly so short. It's weird to me. It doesn't give me enough time to really get to know the characters and grow them. Let's say Dark Souls 3, for example. And the characters also lack a lot of personality so far. Dark Souls 3, for example. Every character had a quest, but their quests would last for me from the start of the game or from when they're introduced all the way to the end of the game. And yeah, there was, and they would basically only die if you fail their quest, or how to. Yeah, you think you get what I'm saying, right? Same with Dark Souls 1 and 2, and the character quests would last for a very long time. They weren't just like 2-3 steps and you're done. Anyway, or maybe I'm misremembering or something, but that's the first. So I didn't really get a chance to get attached to any of the characters in Round Table Hold. Dee died, I'm like, yeah, I don't care about this guy. Fia died, I'm like, yeah, who cares? I talked to her a couple times. She gave me information, but I have no reason to get attached to her. Even the Firekeeper, or the maiden, Melina. It's like I forget she exists because you only talk to her maybe like I've talked to her maybe like 4 times in like 40 hours, maybe like once every like 10 hours of gameplay. She appears when I talk to her. There is no connection there. It's not like the other games where I had to talk to the Firekeeper to upgrade, and so I develop a connection to the Firekeeper that way. No, I don't even need her to upgrade. I don't need her for anything. I only talk to her every like 10 hours or so. It's weird. God, I'm rambling, but so that's the first thing. I don't get attached to characters. The other thing is they went so big with the open world, and I don't have a problem with open world, but when you have an open world this big, it feels so empty. The other Souls games were also open world, but they were condensed, right? There was like content, like everywhere you go, everywhere you look, there's things to do, there's enemies to fight, items to collect, bosses to kill. In Elden Ring, there's so many moments where I'm like, I open the map and I'm like, oh, I haven't explored this area yet, so I mark it. I go there, I run around on the horse for like 20 minutes, nothing. There's no enemies, there's no items, there's not. Maybe there's an item that's like Golden Rune 3. I don't care about that. I didn't just waste 20 minutes running around on the horse for a Golden Rune 3. Give me something to actually care about. Give me a boss. Give me a special weapon of some kind. Give me something. Reward me for exploration. The way that it is right now, it's really like I started out and I was so excited to explore, and then as time went on, I just stopped caring about exploration because it doesn't get rewarded. There's no reason to explore. And this is a problem with open world games in general. The vast majority of open world games can never figure this out. They can never figure out how to properly encourage exploration. Elden Ring isn't any different. As much as I respect FromSoft, I love all their games. They still failed to make the world an interesting place to explore. There's a lot of cool stuff to look at, there's a lot of scenery and all of that, but there's no rewards for exploration. And finally, the big one, and this is the one everybody's gonna hate me for. Bosses. The boss fights have been so dog shit. Genuinely. I don't know how else to describe it. I don't know how many bosses I've fought. I've been in like 10 different catacombs. I've been in like ruins. I've fought night bosses. I've fought like the Deathbird, the Tree Sentinel, 2 Night Cavalries. Like I said, 10 catacombs bosses. I've fought story bosses. So in terms of story bosses, I've fought like everything in like Stormgate Castle. So like Margate and Godric. I fought everything in Raya Lucaria. So that's Renala. I don't remember if there's any other bosses there. In the Caria Manor, the one on the horse, Loretta. I fought Radon, which Radon was the biggest disappointment for me, but I'll get to that after. I fought. I'm forgetting. Ancestor Spirit in the Siofra River. Out of all the bosses I've fought, which is like maybe like 30 plus bosses, I only remember like 4 of them that are actually memorable, that I remember their names, their attack patterns, and those were like the main story ones, that being like Godric, Margit, Renala, and Radon. Every other boss I've fought so far, first of all, it would take me like 1 or 2 tries to beat each of those bosses, with a few exceptions. It's so insanely easy. Either easy or hard because of some like cheese mechanic. Like there was this one boss, I think it was in the Black Knife Catacombs, where it was the Shade, the one that like disappear, the one that like disappears and then appears and then hits you with blood loss. It's like this black thing. And like the shade is fine. Like when I fought the shade in the other catacomb, when it was just the shade alone, it was a cool concept of this boss that just like disappears and reappears, but it's so squishy, right? So if you're just aggressive, you can kill it before it kills you. But it's a cool concept. I didn't mind that. But then the Black Knife Catacombs, it's the shade again, except this time it's the shade with like 4 skeletons. Are you serious? This is not a fun boss. This is not a good idea. What are we doing right now? What are we doing right now? It's just cheese. It's hard, not because the boss is interesting, not because of some like, not because of there's an attack pattern to learn, but because you're just getting swarmed by skeletons. It's disgusting. Why? Okay, Ancestor Spirit, beat it first try, which considering the build up to it, considering that you had to, go around the entire Suyaku River and lighting up all those things and all that, I was expecting it to be on the level of like Godric, Melania. I know Melania, obviously. I haven't fought her yet, but obviously I know she exists. Radon. I was expecting a boss of that scale. I see the Ancestor Spirit. It's a stag. It looks cool. Again, I can say this about everything. It looks cool. I like how it looks. Gameplay. It was so boring. I just beat it first try. No challenge, no interesting gimmicks, nothing. Now Radon, why was Radon disappointing? I love the whole, everything surrounding it. I love the idea of the festival, how you go in. It's supposed to be like this raid boss, and there's like 20 summon signs because you're supposed to summon all these NPCs, that then the NPCs just get one-shotted by Radon, so at the end of the day, it's a one-on-one between you and him anyway, even if you summon stuff. How when you go in and he's like shooting the bow at you and you have to like keep dodging until you get close and then stuff fight starts. The horse was hilarious. Okay, seeing Radon get on his horse was hilarious. And then when you get him to, I think it was like half health or whatever, and he does the Pantheon ultimate, he jumps up in the sky and comes out of comet. It's so cool, it's so incredible, and this is the kind of stuff I loved about Wukong. I love that part of Radon. But then, and like every one of his hits, by the way, I'm pretty sure I was under leveled because every hit from Radon, I was dying literally basically in one hit. Not one hit, but every attack from Radon was 90% of my health. I'm pretty sure I was under leveled, but then I realized I got on my horse. First of all, I realized that you can get on the horse. When I got on my horse, I realized he does not land a single hit. You can just, it's so easy to kite him on the horse. I got on the horse and I ran circles around him. I just like run, do like a 1 or 2 drive-by hits, and then circle back around. Circle back around, and he just doesn't land a single attack. And I killed him. And I'm like, that's it. Like, I mean, they allow me to use the horse, so clearly I'm supposed to use the horse, especially because his attacks cover such a wide area of effect. But then, if I'm supposed to use the horse, how come Radon doesn't, like, is he really that incapable of hitting me when I'm on the horse? Like, are we serious right now? And so I died to Radon maybe like 7 times, I think. And then when I got on the horse, I beat him like right away on the same attempt. I was like, okay, that's so insanely disappointing that you can just do that, you know? And even without the horse, by the way, like even without the horse, I was consistently getting him below half health on my first attempt. He was not a hard boss at all. He was just cool, but that's it. Renala was so boring. I mean, this is just the same complaint. I mean, I had the same complaint about like Dark Souls 1, 2, 3, Bloodborne. Mage bosses are always like this. This is an issue I have with mage bosses, is that they're just boring always. It's just dodge projectiles, get close, hit them, and I mean, you don't even have to dodge projectiles. You just kind of like sprint. You just kind of like sprint in like a zigzag pattern, and you never get hit by the spells. You get close, a couple hits, they teleport away, and rinse and repeat. Renala was basically that. Although the twist with like how it starts out because of the deep style and then it turns into an actual boss fight, that was a cool twist. I did enjoy that. So yeah. Where I just got now is I basically did everything as far as I could tell. I did everything on the middle floor, you know, the So basically everything that isn't underground, and it is not the Altas Plateau. Um, so just today, I was in Caelid. Today I did Radon, but I was also right around Caelid looking for the, what do you call it? The half of the medallion, the medallion that half the medallion that I was missing to activate the lift. Because as far as I could tell, that was the only way to reach the Altas Plateau. So I got that medallion, and I went up to the Altas Plateau, and then I stopped there. So yeah, I think if I had to guess, I'm probably about halfway through the game, maybe a little less than half. So yeah, this is just my initial impressions so far. After 46 hours, I think I wanted to give an opinion here. I hope that the rest of the game it just gets better from here. I hope that from now on, bosses get more interesting, they get more fun, they get more challenging. I hope that the character quests actually captivate me. I hope that the story captivates me. Because right now I'm enjoying the game, but it's really not. This is not FromSoft quality. This is not on the same level that all the other games have been on. And what makes me even more mad is that this won Game of the Year over God of War. Are we serious? God of War had a better story, better characters, better everything. How did it lose to this? I was holding judgment, okay? Because like I wanted God of War to win Game of the Year, but I saw Elden Ring won. I'm like, you know what? That's fine. I don't mind because I like FromSoft games. I just haven't played Elden Ring yet, but I like FromSoft games. I know that Elden Ring is a good game. Maybe it deserves Game of the Year. I'm gonna hold off. I'm gonna hold any judgment until I actually play Elden Ring and give a fair opinion. Now I'm playing Elden Ring, I'm like, this is not even close. This is not even close. The amount, the emotions, the feels, and everything that I had felt in God of War compared to just the slog that is exploration in Elden Ring. When when Seluvis told me, oh, when I was in the Siafa River with Blythe, and we couldn't figure out how to get to Nokris, so he's like, oh, you can ask Seluvis. So I asked Seluvis, and he's like, oh, there's this witch in Limgrave that somewhere in Limgrave you can talk to. And I'm like, I just groaned. Like as soon as I'm like, I finished Limgrave like 20 hours ago. I don't want to go through Limgrave again and run around for like 2 hours trying to look for the one NPC that I missed. Like, come on. Because the map is too big and there's not enough hints on like where to find stuff. Eventually, though, luckily I stumbled upon her. I just noticed there was like one temple that I hadn't explored, so I went to that temple and she was like there. But like stuff like this, I don't even want to keep up with NPCs. Like, I did the castle in the south, Castle Morn, I think it's called, and at the entrance of Castle Morn was this girl, and she's like, "Oh, can you find my dad?" Blah blah blah. I'm like, sure. So I go in the castle, I finish the whole castle, I kill everybody there, and I find her dad. I tell him, and he's like, "Okay, I'm gonna go rescue her." Guess what happened after that? Nothing. They just disappeared. They're not on the map. They're not anywhere I've been. They just vanished. Where's the rest of the story? What happened with them? Bok, the tailor. That's it. Like, okay. Now he just sits by the bonfire to alter your armor, which isn't even upgrading armor. That's not. You can't upgrade armor. So it's like I find an armor set that I am comfortable with, and I can't even upgrade that armor set. I can only tailor it, which like adjusts the stats but doesn't improve the stats. And then Bok doesn't even have any implication on the story either. He just kind of exists now. He doesn't even have implication on the gameplay because I could have altered my armor myself in the grace sites. I was gonna say bonfire, right? Like anyway, like I said, I hope the rest of the game is better than this. I have hopes that the game will improve, but I don't wanna. I don't want to be disappointed. Yeah, that's gonna be it. Take care.